what I hear when a typical group of English teenagers sit near me on a train. Me when someone asks me why I constantly ask for super chats on my live stream.
Business.
And this is me when the radio tells me that Tottenham have just won a thrilling victory over Arsenal in the Women's Football League.
This means nothing to me.
Hi guys, welcome back to the show. Today we're going to talk about ROBES08. ROBES08 has exploded. He's shopped all the other YouTubers. He's thrown them under the bus, guys. And we want to know what you think about that. Before we do that, guys, if you want to get fragrance samples in the USA, Canada or Puerto Rico, please go to myfragrancesamples.com. That is my recommended place to get a huge range of fragrance samples, designer and niche, in the USA and those other places I mentioned. Link in the description, go there. Okay, so I did a little bit on this on my recent live stream, and I thought it was a fun topic. So ROBES08 has done a video. This is a YouTuber, and I better tell you a bit about him. So ROBES08 been going, I guess, since 2008, maybe that's hence the name. He is one of the oldest and most long-established YouTubers talking about fragrances, one of the OGs, if you like, and he's got a fantastic channel. I really respect his contribution. Very, very experienced fragrance reviewer and YouTuber. Now, he's been a little bit here, there, and everywhere over the last few years. He's had lengthy periods when he didn't upload. He's fallen off the radar, really, for YouTube in terms of the algorithm. He hasn't kept up with what YouTube wants for you to get loads of views. So I think it's fair to say that. So his channel much smaller than it used to be in terms of the average views and stuff like that on the videos. He's fallen by the wayside a little bit, haven't I? Although I was never big in the first place, you know. So the same could be said of me too. But so that's the deal with him. His channel is really good. He does sometimes very long, in-depth into reviews of single fragrances, which I respect. He knows that's not going to get so many views, not peppered with too many top 10 lists. And so actually someone you may want to follow. I will link his descriptions. But in a couple of videos recently, he actually, I think they were taken from his TikTok, excuse me, and he's really kind of gone in there on some of the other YouTubers without naming any notes. So he has talked about the fact that he did a kind of top 10 influencers, and then he said something about this particular fragrance. So he did one short video where he's had a go at anybody basically doing a review of Draco Suja Boy, S-Boy by Draco, picture on the screen. So I don't know who this person is. Is he some kind of rapper? This is some kind of celebrity or minor celebrity, I don't know. And it's a celebrity themed scent, which is quite expensive, well over £200 a bottle. Are you mad, bruv? And it's clear that this was sent free to a lot of YouTubers. And he says it's a great way to spot an influencer, someone who doesn't really care about their fragrance recommendations and is just doing it maybe for the money. If you see anyone who's done a review of a video about Suja Boy or whatever you call it, this Draco thing, S-Boy, I don't know, and then they've got a coupon code in the description. They've got the same email that a lot of YouTubers got, and they've, in his words, they've taken the money. Now, let me know what you think about that in the comments below. Also, he did another video where he said, when he sees similar kind of thing, any of these YouTubers with top 10 lists, and then suddenly there's a fragrance, you know, maybe they've done a Creed fragrance and a Chanel fragrance and some of the ones that are really big fragrance brands, and then suddenly there's a fragrance from a relatively small under the radar brand is number 1 or number 2 or 3 or maybe 1, 2 and 3, and guess what, there's a coupon code, and he's saying basically that ain't their real top 10 list then. In effect, they're lying to you. They haven't really picked their favourite fragrances because they had a huge ulterior motive to put other things in it. And I've got to be honest, he's got a point there. That kind of thing definitely goes on, and yeah, I would kind of take with a large pinch of salt, an enormous handful of salt, any video by an influencer about that Draco Suja Boy or whatever it is. I have to. He has got a point there, but what do you think about what he said there? So the essence of his point there is that in the good old, he's like, we want to get the community back to us. And in his day, people were making videos that were about the pure passion for fragrances. He wasn't doing it for the money, probably still isn't, and there were genuine reviews, and if you saw a top 10, that was someone's genuine top 10 favourite fragrances they were wearing this summer, and that is no longer the case. And he's saying, look, if you're new to the game, you want to find people who can recommend fragrances that you might like, and maybe find an influencer that you can invest in, that you like their personal taste. Like, so, okay, to blow my own trumpet, I would if I could, you could include me as someone, well, if you like old school gentlemanly fragrances, you can say that my channel might give you some good recommendations. And I very rarely get sent things free, and you won't see coupon codes or anything like that for free. I don't do those kind of tie-ups with brands. So you might like my channel in that way, even though it's a very niche, small group of people who want to gravitate towards my kind of style of fragrance that I like. So I could be an example of someone purer than Driven Snow here in the community that he might approve of. However, he's throwing some people under the bus there without mentioning names. So anyone who's done the Suja Boy thing, you know, he's now sort of tarred their name a little bit publicly. And likewise, he's implicitly, we can all think of some people who perhaps do top tens with a lot of things maybe in there that have been given to them free. And he sort of said that they don't have the integrity, that they're influencers, and almost that they shouldn't be trusted. So what do you think about what he said there? Do you think, I mean, you can't deny the truth of what he said, but on the other hand, does it come off a little salty as somebody who used to be a big deal in Fragcom and has now fallen by the wayside a little bit, has much less views and much less traction online than some of these other people that he's implicitly throwing under the bus? So has he done a shitty thing by doing this, or is he the noble saviour of Fragcom? I'm kind of bit of both. I don't think it's a great look for him to say that, because we all know this stuff goes on in most YouTube genres, and it isn't crime of the century, and he's kind of throwing people under the bus a bit. On the other hand, what he says is true. And if you're looking for someone who does videos that are knowledgeable and don't have any ulterior motive or sponsorships, his channel, I must say, could give you some good recommendations. So where am I at on this? I have long said that, to be honest with you, it doesn't bother me. We know in YouTube, people who are doing it for a living, professional channels, whether they be about tech gear, whether they be about sports, whether they be about popular culture or anything else, sneaker reviews, whatever, most of them have some tie-ups, how they are promoting products in order to make their living in one way or another. Implicitly, there has to be something like that going on for them to get the money. So I don't think it's a problem. I watch videos knowing that these people are sponsored in some way. So if you're doing a current affairs broadcast or about popular culture, and then you plug a certain brand of coffee or something, that's okay, because it doesn't really interfere with your opinion about the popular culture thing that you're talking about in your video, right? However, the problem is, obviously, if you're talking about fragrances and then you've been sent some free and you're saying they're great, and then there's a coupon code, then yeah, you've got an ulterior motive to say they're great, and you might not be telling the truth. Well, newsflash, that's how YouTube works. Even those guys plugging the coffee on their program about woke culture or whatever, they still might be telling you the coffee's good when it's not. So I just don't think, I think it's a nothing burger. Newsflash, some people are influencers and they kind of like fragrances too, but they're mainly doing it for money, and they'd probably sell their grandmother and tell you anything for a few bucks. Who wouldn't? Maybe if someone offered me big money, I'd lie to you too. Thankfully, no one has, so I don't have to. What do you think about this? That's my opinion on it. Not a great look from him. Most of what he says was true, but get over it. That's YouTube. That's my bottom line on that one. By the way, one of the ways I do make money that at least I can be open about is I have my own brand, Norton & Wilson. So check us out in the description. Gravitas and Gravitas Essentia, the follow-up. Bon Vivant and Chypre Fulminare, amazing fragrances. Our website's back up after a little bit of an overhaul. Go there and buy these fragrances. Make me a wealthy man. No, forget that. They are actually excellent, and they do reflect my refined, gentlemanly taste. Let me know what you think about that in the comments down below. Wristwatch of the day, Omega Seamaster 40ml. We will see you in the next video. Remember, whatever you're doing in life, let's project. And although sometimes life really can stink, at least we can always smell good. Bye-bye.